Then West Tigers next in at 13th. I predict them to come 12th, so I was only one spot off. This is the opposite to Brisbane and Cowboys. I think the atmosphere surrounding the Tigers at the moment is a lot more negative than the latter maybe suggests, as it's a lot more positive for the Cowboys and Broncos than the latter suggests. But look, not the best season. I think people's expectations coming into this were too high. I look back at our preseason predictions. My brother Locke and my dad both predicted Tigers to make the 8. And just looking at the 17, I don't think that was a fair expectation. Not to say I'm a know-it-all or whatever, but I think my prediction of 12th was pretty fair. They didn't really improve their side from last year, which came 9th. And there are a lot of sort of role players that were let go, and there was a lot more dependence on youth. So I think there was always going to be a backward step, and a lot of the teams below them took a step up, like the Titans. So I think there was always going to be that backward step this year, personally. I know a lot of people didn't see it coming, but to me, it made sense. And I think that shouldn't be held against the Tigers. I think like coming 9th this year was a bit unexpected. And in the end, I was sort of surprised how close the Tigers came to finishing 9th. But all in all, not a good year though. More in the sense that there wasn't a direction set, and it's sort of not clear the path of success, which I thought was maybe going to be the result of this season. Into the awards, MVP, I've got Adam Doueihi. I think he's a really unsung hero. I think just because he plays for a club that, doesn't play many primetime games, and people sort of just can the Tigers all the time. But I think Doueihi's a really, really good player. Hopefully we can hang on to him. Unfortunately, he's got that serious knee injury and he's going to miss some of next season. But him at 5'8", him at centre, wherever he plays, he's one of our best players. Most improved, this is where you sort of see that maybe Michael Maguire's not the best player, not the best coach, because most improved was a really hard thing to predict. Thing to pick. I actually went to Alex Seyfarth, and I'm sure a lot of you at home don't really know who that is, but he went from playing a couple games on the bench in the last couple of seasons to he ended up being a starter before Josh Alawai ruined his season with a cannonball tackle and wasn't punished heavily enough for that. But anyways, and yeah, he gives it his all, really aggressive forward, and he's someone that hopefully is back to full fitness next year and can continue his improvement. Tommy Talau also, more not necessarily from last year to this year, more from the start of this year to the end. The start, he was one of our biggest liabilities. He got dropped. He had the worst hands in the rugby league, dropping 2 or 3 balls a game. But by the end, he was a very solid centre who would just give you a 6, 7 out of 10 every week. And as a Tigers fan, that's a nice change. I am happy to cop a player who will do that every week. So yeah, and unfortunately he did his ACL on the weekend, which is really, really shattering news. It's pretty daunting to think that 2 of our top, maybe 10 players in Talau and Doueihi are going to be out for a lot of next year. But anyway, best young player, Dane Laurie and Stefano Utoikamanu. I couldn't split them, so I've given it to them both. Incredible signings, to be fair to Madge. Great pickups, and they're going to be ones for the future. It's just a matter of whether we can hold on to them. Stefano's the sort of player that the Tigers won't be able to hold on to in the past. He's going to be a jet. You just can't hold on to him. So hopefully we can, because that would be a huge thing for the Tigers moving forward. Rating out of 10. I'm doing it against my predictions. So I know a lot of you will say 1 out of 10, but I think that's a recency bias. I'm only going to give it a 4 out of 10. I think 3 could be debatable as well, but for me, they only finished 1 below where I predicted, and they were tied with 12th. So for me, it was a disappointing season, but I'm not overly shocked at the latter position. So for me, it's a 4 out of 10.
It's a miracle! Oh, yeah! What about that one? Unbelievable! Balotelli, Aguero! Crowd cheers. Here's Siddle.